Now more than ever, I am completely convinced as to why people spend a lot of money going away on vacation. And I'll be back in a minute. Good morning. Good morning. This is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I truly love helping people keep some of their own hard earned money. Could that be you? Probably yes. That's why you're here. And thank you for being here. And if you're brand new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you've been here a long time, thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. All right. Now, I am convinced as to why people go on vacation. Of course, to get away, take a break from routine. But there is another factor that no one seems to really think about or talk about. And what does this have to do with anything in the title of my show today? You'll see in a minute. One of the biggest reasons I am convinced why people love, love, love going away on vacation is more than likely when they rent their hotel, motel room, whatever, or stay as a guest in someone else's home and you're in a lovely guest room, you are waking up to no chaos. You are waking up to an uncluttered bedroom. Okay? You are waking up and walking around if you have like a rented room that has like a living room type area to it. You're walking around, you don't see papers, you don't see garbage, you don't see everything is nice and neat. And this by itself helps us to decompress. Am I right or am I right? For example, let's say you go away, you rent a really nice hotel room. Let's say you go to one of those amusement type park places, whatever, go out for the whole day. You're not coming back to a mess. Now, many people listening to this, wonderful, sweet people, all of us, at one time or another, we are not necessarily programmed to think, hey, the first thing I want to do today is make my bed. Now, this theory has not been invented in the last 2 weeks. It has been proven and proven time again, over again for years. One of the first things that a person could do when they are home is when they wake up, one of the first things to do is make your bed. Now, there are mornings like this very morning, in my case, I normally jump up, make bed, go forward. This time I wanted to jump up, run to coffee maker, run to hot pot. And I said, but you got to make the bed. So I bent the rule, but I kept my commitment. Okay. So I said, well, you could bargain with yourself sometimes. So that's what I did. I said, well, you could have your cup of coffee. You could sit with it for just 5 minutes, not make a day of it, and then go right back to bed and make the bed immediately after that 5 minute cup of coffee interval. Okay, first brush teeth, then make coffee. You know the drill, you know the drill. All right. But that's what I did. I still didn't let it go. Might have taken 5 or 10 minutes longer. Don't ask me why, but on this day, I felt like just swapping it out a minute. But I said, I'm not going to let it go because I noticed the pattern too. And this I'm convinced as well. On those days when a person wakes up, takes care of their, making their bed right away. And if case there is some clothing that should have been hung up or put in a drawer, take care of that right away. Leave your bedroom where you sleep, your area, as almost as if a sanctuary, because in a way, it is your sanctuary. Now, how does that help you make money? Well, I have noticed that when I do certain things in a logical sense of order, I get more accomplished. And the more I can accomplish, the more money a person can earn. It's also getting rid of mental clutter. Okay. There are two kinds of clutter in life there's physical clutter, like those shirts and those things on the floor that some people have, actual clutter, physical clutter. But there's also mental clutter. Okay. So if you begin us, all of us, doesn't have to always be January. This thought, if you're listening to this, let's say in April of this year, okay, these rules apply all year long. Now, a lot of people, at the beginning of the year, like e.g., right now, we all get a sense, a jolt of, okay, we're going to take on the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's going to get done. And that may work for a moment of time. But the real question is sustainability. Are you going to sustain that? Are you going to keep up that momentum? Sometimes it's better to do things on an even keel, even if you have to slightly bend the rule a little. And that's what I did today. I'm a human being. For some reason or another, I wanted my cup of joe, or at least a few sips of it, which is what I did. I wanted my cup of joe, sips of it first. And I said, well, Jan, it's not the end of the world. Go have your cup of joe, a few sips, but you get your tail back in that room and make the bed. So it was sort of like a self compromise. You see where I'm going with this? Okay. Things that happen in a logical order. An example, when you put a recipe together. Now, some recipes you can eyeball, throw together. Literally, you don't need to look at a book or whatever, throw it together. But certain things, for example, like baking a cake, baking is a science, okay? So you have to follow the rules or it's not going to work out. And there is a precise science to measuring the stuff that you need for your going to bake a cake recipe, or you will have just wasted time, effort, energy, and unfortunately, all the ingredients that you worked for with your hard earned money to spend, right? So some things you are so better off just following the rules. But some things you can bend the rules a little bit, like I did today, taking my time out because for whatever the reason, I don't know the reason, we're human beings. On this day, I said, you know what? I'm just going to grab my cup of joe first, take a few sips. I felt grounded. It felt better. And then, like literally, I gave myself a 5 minute window and said, "You're going back in there. You're going to make the bed." Because honestly, this rule applies for everyone. If you make your bed, your life feels just so much better. And I don't know, just falls into a better place. It's really true. You know it yourself because you've probably done this before yourself. You see where I'm going with this? And another thing, and I've mentioned this on past videos, get rid of the uglies first. Things you don't want to do. Yesterday, for example, and I won't hold you up too much longer, but yesterday I had to take care of an online errand type thing. Like I had to fill out some information online, which I don't like to do, just like it, because it like, oh, it just like sets me back time wise. But I had to just fill out something. And I took care of that matter. And I said, you know what, Janet, you made more of a big deal of it, dreading it. Sometimes the dread of doing something, 'cause you feel like, oh, you don't want to make a mistake type thing, that's part of the dread. But you know what? The beauty part about when you deal with digital electronic things, if you make a mistake, it'll let you know it. It tells you did. Okay. So you usually, I'm not saying 100%, so don't quote me on that. But in any event, try to get rid of the uglies, the things you dislike to do. I will always emphasize that. And if you could get rid of like the first three things that you really, really, really don't want to do, if you knock them out of the ballpark right away, you will notice you'll feel better. The rest of your day will be brighter, and it's just helpful. Anyway, on this We Can Do It Wednesday, I know we can do all of the above and have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care. Bye bye. Oh, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. I always forget.